All right, Monday, December 21st, 2015, in the WPA building, North Scituate, Scituate Board of Health. I will take a motion to open the meeting and accept the agenda.
Motion to open the meeting, second the agenda.
All right, all those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
First thing on the agenda is discuss fats, oils, and grease, otherwise known as FOG regulations and compliance requirements. And that's you.
That's me. So I gave you copies of the regulations so that we can kind of walk through them. I realized that we'll probably walk through them one more time before we actually start asking establishments to come in. But one of the major questions that I had kind of walking through these regulations was whether it applied to just establishments on sewer or whether the establishments on septic also needed to be in compliance with these. And I have flagged a couple of pages. I know you guys have looked at them.
The ones that are on septic, we just need to make sure they're getting pumped and so on and so forth. And make sure that they're doing everything, which if they're on septic, they're probably doing anyway.
Yeah, I mean, it does say on several pages, page 1, all new and existing facilities that generate and discharge FOG shall install, operate, and maintain a pre-treatment system. That's under purpose. And then I think on page 6A, same thing, you know, in every case where they're preparing yourself to food or other business in which FOG is a byproduct, one that conforms with the plumbing code must be installed. So it appears as though, kind of looking through the history, so this required a phased approach. 2013, there were 12 establishments that needed to become in compliance. At the end of 2014, there were 7. And in this current year, 2015, there are 32. So what we had done was we sent out a questionnaire to each group of establishments to see where they were at, what they had, what they didn't have, and if they were part of the 2013-2014 group, copies of their, as you're saying, you know, the maintenance logs, you know, who's the contractor to clean, pump, or otherwise maintain their grease traps. So from 2013, of the 12, we have 9 that we can confirm are currently in compliance. It appears as though there is 1 on septic that it appears as though it's in compliance. I just have a couple of questions to ask the establishment owner. And then there are 2 on septic that only have internal grease traps. So that was the other question when I first started to become involved in these regulations and implementing them, is what's acceptable? You know, at what point are they required to have external grease traps versus internal grease traps? So I kind of flagged the 3 types in here. You know, they're indoor passive, indoor automatic, and outdoor underground. And the regulations don't specify that I've seen when you make that transition. You know, who's required to have external versus internal. Those on septic that are true establishments, large-scale establishments, they're required through Title V to have an external in-ground grease trap. The regulations, from what I can read, don't specify when anyone else has to make that transition. So what we did to date was to review, and we did receive all of the questionnaires back with all of the backup from folks. In 2013, that group, we have 3 to follow up with. 1 has an external and 2 have internal only. So we'll need to be able to review moving forward whether those 2 are in compliance with internal only. They are both septic and they are both on Front Street.
Okay. Okay.
2014?
Yeah.
Want to go on? Okay, so 2014, there were only 7 establishments that needed to be in compliance. Of those, 3 are in full compliance. We have all of their records. The remaining 4, 3 on sewer, 1 on septic. They all have something. They all have 1 or more internal grease traps, providing all of the documentation that they needed. And again, the question is that sufficient for these establishments? So we'll need to go over that. The latest group of establishments, of which there are 32, they needed to be in compliance or working towards compliance at the end of this calendar year. So again, all of them submitted their questionnaires. Of those, 20 have a grease trap of some sort. Most are internal. 18 of those establishments are on sewer and 2 are on septic. And then we have 10 establishments that have nothing in place. 6 of them are on sewer and 4 of them are on septic. So I kind of wanted to go through with you folks the process moving forward to working with those establishments to identify if they are truly in compliance with the intention of this regulation, the folks that have internal grease traps.
So the ones you said, there's 10 that don't have anything, but they're on storage. So they're just letting everything go down the drain?
6 on sewer, 4 on...
Right, right. 10 have nothing, 6 are on sewer, and 4 are on septic.
So that every piece of grease or anything is just going...
Well, one of them being the juice bar, there's no grease.
The juice bar.
The other one I know is the frozen yogurt, they don't have the grease.
But what about when they're washing down the yogurt, the machines,
Right.
or the juice, the what do they call that in orange? That
Well, pulp.
pulp.
The pulp, I'm pretty sure they recycle all of their compost.
So those that don't have anything, and obviously won't go into specifics, but they range from fudge, juice, hot dogs, etc.
Well, hot dogs we know have grease. Hot dogs we know have grease.
Yes, yes. And then there's coffee, a coffee place that always serves coffee. So more hot dogs. So most of the establishments, I talked to Nellie specifically about ice cream, yogurt, etc. And she said, those should have grease traps as well because they are cleaning, those products to create a little bit of grease, a little bit of byproduct. Obviously, nothing is similar to if you're frying food, but they do leave some residue. So I kind of just wanted to walk through the process with you folks as to how we wanted to work with them to bring them in compliance or to check.
Okay, well, the first things first is if we're going to go by the rules and regulations, the rules and regulations do say all non-existing facilities that generate and discharge fog and wastewater flow shall install, operate, and maintain a fog pretreatment system as further defined herein. And then we have the definitions. So right off the bat, the 10 that don't have, we should probably contact them. And then, a couple of them might need a variance, you know what I mean? And that'll be a case-by-case basis, but those 10 can't skate by. They at least need to be, we at least need to figure out, a fudge, and I know where that is. I don't know how much, I just don't know, you know what I mean? So, and then I was thinking, what about their home kitchens? Well, aren't there a few home kitchens that, yeah.
There are a few home kitchens. We haven't reached out to them to date.
Right.
They would be included in this. They are their personal, home septic systems
Right.
and or town sewer.
Right.
So that would be.
I guess it would matter upon how much volume they're generating. If it would be more than a family of 4 or 5 living at home, do you know what I mean? Yes, no, maybe?
Yep. I was actually just looking up the definition of food establishment to see if it excluded the residential kitchens. It does not.
Facility that prepares or sells food and as a byproduct it shows fat, oil, or grease. So whoever's a home kitchen, if she's cooking cookies or catering or whatever it may be, you know, they should be contacted and not be left out. Agreed? Not agreed?
Yep. Yep, we'll reach out to them. I think we have, are we down to 3? I think we're down to 3 residential kitchens.
Maybe, maybe, there's a few, there's, yeah, at least 4, I think.
And as far as the bigger ones, the 7, those all have, the 7 that were acquired last year, so those are the 15 above seats, correct?
The 7 from last year, we have,
They all have something.
they all have something, yes.
Right.
One or more
and
internal.
From 2 years ago, 2013, those are all, they all have something.
They all have something, yes, whether it be external or internal.
Right, okay. So the next thing is to figure out if what they have
Sufficient.
is sufficient, correct? As much as I hate to say it, that's you and Nellie, I guess, doing some more decisive inspection of, you know, A, are they pumping it, is it getting pumped the way it needs to be pumped? B, is the thing even working if they have 2 concurrent ones under the sink, and I don't know which one's which, but, or if they have one tiny one underneath the sink. You know, the only ones that I can think of is when the river shed, when Mike was here, you know, the capacity of so on and so forth. So you have a place that's, and I don't know which one's which, but say the 7, so those are middle-sized restaurants. If they have one that's not, something has to, you know, we have to look at the capacity of those to make sure that what they have is working and filtering out the grease as best as it can.
Yep, those are the last year's 50.
50, right. So I think that's a good place to start right there. And as much as I hate to say it, it's a little more work for you.
No, and that's fine, I just want to
Unless they've given you everything in some of the questionnaires.
Some of them have.
Oh, okay.
So the questionnaires, they asked for, you know, the basics: name, contact information, number of seats or square footage, the number and size of the grease interceptors or grease traps, the location, internal, external, and internal where, under the sink, attached to the dishwasher.
That's what I mean,
etc.
right. So, and some of them might have 2 concurrent ones, but they might be 2 small capacity concurrent ones, and it's not keeping up with,
Yeah, depending on the
with the
volume.
volume of discharge, right?
Yep.
Right.
Yep, and we have asked them, you know, for fryolators and woks, because that grease is going to be stored separately.
Some of them have their own, some of them do have their own grease of that receptacle. I know a few places have it, they dump it and it comes.
Outside.
Right, it gets taken
Yep.
away.
Yep.
But not every place has it.
Right.
Right, so that's what we tried to capture, you know, just using this top one as an example. We have for the fryolators and woks, the outside storage. You know, so the grease that's not collected in an actual grease trap, where is it stored outside? Who has the contract to remove it? And how frequently do they pick it up?
Right.
Exactly.
And then on the second page of the questionnaire, it's the information about the grease trap itself. Very similarly, maintenance and inspection contract, who that person or company is, the frequency of inspection or cleaning, if they don't have a contractor, who does it, and then do they have records that can be provided to the
No,
Board of
this is
Health?
good. Now, let me ask you a question to change a little bit. So you have questionnaires back from everybody, but yet some of these people have not done their food permits yet?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. We have, as of tonight, we have 9 outstanding food permits.
But yet some of them responded to the questionnaire.
All of them responded. The questionnaire went out separately. The questionnaire went out in the fall.
Okay.
And all of these folks responded with the questionnaire by the end of October, you know, with the goal of making sure that the first 2 groups, 2013 and 2015, were in compliance and were in fact, regularly maintaining
Right.
their system. Especially given the fact that earlier this year, we received 2 phone calls from the sewer department about clogs in the sewer lines.
Which we never found, which were never found.
The sources have not been found, but since we've done the questionnaires and since we conducted those inspections to all of the potential sources, there has not been a similar backup. So that's an encouraging sign.
Somebody cleaned something.
Right. Or did it the way they were
Or
supposed to.
did it.
Right.
Yeah, right, yeah, now, and is not doing things
Right.
as they were required to. So that's encouraging. And everybody was very upfront and, honest with what they have or didn't have. And the folks who don't have anything, certainly want to know.
So that's my opinion, and maybe Dougie is something different. Start with the people that don't have anything. If there's some that really don't need it, then they can come and request a variance and just say, okay, if you keep your menu as is and you're not going to add XYZ PDQ or some sort of food, then you will not require adding the expense of, a few $1,000s right now of adding a grease trap. The next ones are it's going to require you and Nellie to do a little bit of inspection, and maybe you could send another letter out and just say, for all of you who are on septic and the ones that have internal, we'd like to see your cleaning logs, your discharge logs, your, when the septic came and sucked everything up. And I think that's a good place to start, and then from there, we can figure out if what they have is working, and then you can maybe figure out if they're complying to what we're asking, and it's going to take a little bit of detective work in order to
With the records and stuff.
with the records and stuff.
Is that part of her, Nellie's inspection? I know like in places that I've been in before, that's one of the things you had to either have posted or provide anytime you had a Board of Health.
Yeah, and that's the thing, if
What,
she
the
requests.
The pumping, who your pumping is and log.
Does she do that?
She will spot check logs, particularly if we're having a concern or a question. She'll spot check their logs. She does inquire where it is, how frequently it's cleaned. And then if we do have a concern from the sewer department, she will specifically go
Right.
and target the establishments that are served by that line, looking for their maintenance records.
Right.
Okay, so,
What else?
so everybody's in agreement, start with the group that have nothing.
Right, you have to start with the group that has nothing, because
Get
we
them
have
up
to,
to
exactly, either we have to make them comply, or we deem it that they're not going to. And, for all I know, we may make everybody do it, you know what I mean?
Yep, so it's one of those, you have nothing,
They have to-
regulations
they have to-
indicate you have to have something.
They have to have
So you need
something,
to come
right.
in for the board to discuss
Right,
why they need or don't need in their minds.
Exactly.
And then what they propose to put in.
exactly.
Okay.
And I would think if they coming in for a variance, they gotta kind of bring a menu and that.
Yeah, and
So we
they
can-
have to say they're not going to change the menu. And I'm specifically thinking the juice bar, and I know Pete's, I'm not quite sure. I know that he does have some stuff that does have grease, but, I'm not quite sure, because he seems to be tinkering with his menu and adding things, so he might be one that he's gonna have to, put one underneath the sink.
And I think that's kind of the concern for us, is that we can't keep track of everybody's menu. We can't check.
No, but Nellie or Nellie's successor it'll just have to be a part of their job responsibility, and when they do their checks, every spontaneous, every other one that they're in a place, she only goes to a place, every 6 weeks or 8 weeks or something like that.
Yep, generally.
So every other one of those, when she's in there, she's got to, she'll just have to check to see if, the menu's the same, or whomever it is that Nellie's successor is going to be,
Yeah.
to make sure that things aren't drastically changed. And again, as much as I hate to say it, it's a little more work on your part.
We're used to it. We're used to it. Okay.
Because it's just another list you're just gonna have to keep, that's just gonna
Yeah.
say, this person has this, are they doing it? And take all that stuff and put it in a spreadsheet and say, whatever information.
Yep, and we've started to do that as part of the 2016 permitting process. We have an ongoing spreadsheet with folks' allergen training dates so that we can help follow up on when folks are coming due for renewals and they don't miss them.
Right.
So we've included a line item for fog compliance.
I think this light's gonna give me big bags under my eyes, you know.
It's an old-
Oh, you're in the hot seat, huh?
That's right. Okay.
Is that a good place to start?
Yep, so we'll start and we'll circle back.
The ones without are the prime place to start, and then it's a little legwork on everybody's part to see what they have, and if it's working, and if it's even plugged in. You know, I mean, just to make sure it's working.
Or being cleaned.
Or being cleaned, right, yeah, or being cleaned. Now, they should all be required to have pump out logs and cleaning logs, correct?
Yep, and that is in the, that's in the regulations, it's very clear.
Yeah.
And then we had a question on the questionnaire about, you know, do you have the records, can they be provided?
So I have another question. A lot of these places, a la Pete's, a la the Juice Bar, a la the newer places, the Galley, and Brian's probably very good. Do they all have all these? And I know they're probably on the website, but they should all have, make sure that they're aware of what, because every town's different than, you know, because I know I'm saying, oh, Brian, I'm saying Brian, you know, he's in Cohasset, he's in Oral, and he's in Scituate, so we all might be a little bit different.
Right.
So it's good that everybody has a copy of what they need to be adhering to. And these are a couple of years old now, so who knows what people did with them.
Yep, they're on our
Yeah.
website, so
That's
people
one
can
thing.
access them. And in the letter that we sent, we summarized what the regulations indicated that they needed.
Okay.
And then they can
If they
always
need
come
to-
to us if they
need
want
to-
hard copies,
if they
right?
need to-
We've actually given people hard
We
copies.
have.
When they come in. No,
Just
like
to
when
cover,
they've
just to
asked.
cover our own butts, just to make sure that, oh, well, nobody never told me, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
Yep, every establishment, minus the residential kitchens, that prepares or serves food, i.e. not prepackaged snacks. All of those folks got a letter from us in October about the questionnaire and has access to the regulations either from coming in to see us or on the website.
Right.
All right.
All right, so we have a good starting point for the 2015 group.
Good game plan. Excellent.
Okay.
All right. Doug, anything else you want to add to that?
No?
All right, other business. Let's go on to number 1, administrative, and provide next year 2016 Board of Health office hours.
Yeah, so I just wanted to, I know I sent you an email letting you know, but we are making a huge effort to catch up on some large-scale projects that we haven't been able to get to. So as of January 1, we will be working, but our office will be closed on Tuesdays between 8:30 and 11 to walk-ins, and then also on Wednesday between 9:30 and 11:30. So this will give us an opportunity for Sue to be able to work on meeting minutes, for us to be able to work on projects where we need uninterrupted time. So for something like this, you know, to be able to concentrate, work together.
And we just don't, we don't,
So-
ever. It's a revolving door.
No, I hear you.
And it just gets frustrating, and we're trying to get some work done.
Get some stuff done, right?
Yep, so as of January 1, those will become our standard hours. We posted them on our door. And
Yep,
yes.
website,
We post them on our door on our website, and it's also been, it will be in Mariner before the 1st, so that folks know.
Good.
And then, of course, you know, any requests that come in during those hours, whether it be phone or things left for us, you know, we'll reach out to them as soon as we open and get to the folks.
All right. Number 2, administrative, and provide 2016 Board of Health meeting schedules.
So that's, yep, that's in your packet. So obviously there's a couple of Wednesdays, the leap year kind of messed us up a little bit in terms of having to adjust from Mondays to Wednesdays. So we have 4 tentative Wednesdays. Take a look, obviously.
I'll be out of town then.
For which one?
The 1st
The
of
first one?
February.
Okay.
Yeah, and January 4th, I'm gonna guess the only thing we're gonna have is the town public safety building. Other than that, I don't know how much.
Yeah, we'll see where we go. We might be able to circle back on the fog regulations at that point, give you an update on where we are and what we've sent out to folks. but we can, it's a tentative schedule, if we need to adjust, we need to adjust. I just wanted to get it to you. If you have any questions or concerns about it overall, let us know. Otherwise, I'm going to reserve the selectmen's hearing room so that we don't get lost in the shuffle for valuable meeting space.
All right, next up, invoice approvals. Yes, no, maybe? All
Lots.
right, we can do that. And meeting minute approvals, so are we all,
You'll start seeing
You'll
those
start seeing
after
lots of
hours.
them now that we're closing.
good point. And then that's it, except for I see there's
Oh, yes.
the other, from the last meeting.
Yes, so I just wanted to provide you a copy of the water resources report that was discussed and described at the last meeting by Mark Cook. They were having some trouble getting it to us electronically, so she brought us hard copies, so we were able to make a copy for each of you to review. And then I have flagged the particular pages on your cover of the pages very specifically oriented to the Board of Health. It's all interconnected, but those are the pages where they provide specific recommendation to our board and our department.
All right, sounds good. Anything else, Jen?
I don't think so.
No? You okay? Dougie, we good?
We're all set.
Sue, anything else?
No?
All right, so then I will take
Motion to close the meeting.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Meeting closed. Merry Christmas, happy holidays, everything else that goes along with that.